Grinding of planes and chisels. This is a really important subject, and in this video I'm going to cover quite a bit of the theory. So it's basically the introduction for beginners about the theory of grinding. So when you're studying carpentry and joinery, we do sit down in classrooms and you have to know the theory side of things as well. It's not all practical work. So with that, grinding is massively important. We're going to talk about the why and the what it is, the types of grinding, a reality check, the angles, the safety aspect of it, and the process. And I will actually show you some grinding as well. Right, a reality check. When you're grinding and you're learning this subject, you don't always have the luxury of getting to use the grinder. So if you're watching this video and you're not actually studying a course and you're doing it, one of the issues with grinding is the cost of the grinders. As a beginner, it's not really cost effective to buy your own grinding wheel. So it's a bit of a barrier. You'd want to be doing a lot of grinding to make it worthwhile, or sharpening on it, but mostly grinding on it to make it worthwhile. So really what people tend to do is every 6 months or every 12 months, they take their damaged chisels that need regrinding, take it to a tool hire shop or a specialist service provider that just do grinding, and they'll grind them down for you. That's a far more cost-effective way of actually doing it than purchasing your own grinder, because these can be definitely from £100, probably £200 to £300 upwards, and then all of the various different parts as well. Kind of put it off for absolute beginners. If you're actually studying the course, it would be the teachers and technicians that do it, because they've been trained in how to use it, and for insurance as well, because there's additional training on how to use the abrasive wheels that would like only a few technicians and teachers to be able to do. So the students don't always get to use the grinding wheels. However, they do need to know about it and know the theory about it. So it's a little bit of a strange subject. Need to know the theory, may not actually get to do it, but I am going to show you how to do it in this video. The angles. Okay, massively important is, what do you grind at? It's not just random, and you don't just grind it wherever you like. There are set angles for it. So the set angle for grinding is 25 degrees. Now we do need to know the angles, and the easiest way to remember this is that the grinding angle, this is what the textbooks refer to as the grinding angle, is known also as the primary angle. So the primary angle is the first number you get to, 25. That's the easiest way to think about it. The other number is for sharpening, and that's 30 degrees. But now in this video we're going to focus on the 25 degree angle. You get a small device with a grinding wheel, or you might have some sort of honing guide, or have made your own jig to set up that you can consistently grind these at 30 degrees. Now let's get into the process on how to do it, and as part of that I'm going to talk about the safety aspect of it as well. Okay, it's an electric grinding wheel, and with that it comes under a safety regulation called PUWER. P-U-W-E-R. It's a bit like POWER. That's how I remember it. It's something to do with power tools. It's not actually power, it's PUWER. And that's the Provision and Use of Work Equipment Regulations 1998. That's important to know that for your safety aspect. That's one of the regulations that govern grinding. Okay, and then the process of grinding. Let's do that. Now, I'm going to say sorry for the lighting in here, because this isn't a studio. It's set up as a workshop, and I haven't put a lot of light in here, but it's light enough for me, but it may not be great for filming. I'm going to take this chisel. That's a bit messed up, but what we're going to do, we're going to grind this whole thing down. So let's get grinding. So with the wet grinding wheel, you have a little trough here, have water in that, and when you start it, you're supposed to stand to the side in case the wheel isn't on or anything. I have checked this one. So we'll turn this on, and we're going to have the motor coming towards me. Good. Wheel didn't fly off, thankfully. Great. Let's get this on. Now, when we're putting the chisel on here, we don't want it to stay in one place. You can't just put it on and leave it there. If you do that, it will just run a trough into the wheel. We don't want to do that. So you need to keep it moving, and we're going to move it about 5 mil over either side and constantly do that. That means that basically the stone is going to stay flat and you're consistently going across it. I'm going to put my fingers on the front of it and thumbs underneath. Put a little pressure on that, and that's going to hit the wheel. And we'll move it gradually back and forth. Now this takes quite a while. There's nothing else I can do to speed this up. I'm going to get a slightly better angle. So this method, the wet grinding, is far safer than the dry grinding. There'll be too many sparks on the other one, and I've got, certainly in my workshop, there's too much stuff all over the place, too much wood dust. Keep your hands above the bar. That's safer. And you do not want to be catching your fingers going down there. Now we'll check and see if our grinding angle is going down. Not really. Let's go at this a bit longer. So we have this device here, and it gives us different angles. So we want it 25 degrees. That's our grinding angle. We'll turn that round and we put that against the wheel, and when we put our chisel down to it, that should line up to it. That's quite close there. I'm good with that. Okay, stand back a little from the wheel, that you're out of the way before you start it. Let it get up to speed. It's not incredibly fast, so it'll be up to speed in a moment. That's it. Fingers in front and underneath, thumbs underneath to hold that. And then go across, side to side, and a few mil either side of it. See how that's just going out a little either side. When I'm doing mine, we're aiming to have the top bevel square with the edge of the blade. Now if this is flat, I'm expecting that that's square down there. So I like to check this, and I'll drop that bit of water down there, and I'll run the blade up against the stone. And if it sits flat against the stone, then it should be square on the side as well. When you hold this in the guide, when it's right up to this edge, that means it should be square at the top, and this should be square on the bar to the top of the stone. Having a grinding wheel is quite useful if you want to grind other things. It's not just useful for chisels and planes. You can use it for your knives, scissors, axes, other tools as well. Also, I believe there are parts that you can use to sharpen your drill bits, so that'll be quite useful. I haven't done that myself yet, I will do soon. Great, so we're getting that all ground down. We'll keep going. So, you see this metal filings? Those metal filings, that's called burr, B-U-R-R. That metal filing, they're going to come off. That's ground down now. I want to check it for squareness. So I'll take a fraction off of that and get that square. Now, we've got to remove the burr. You can do that when I'm grinding it off a scrap of timber. And with that ground down, next step, because that won't be any use to you at the moment, so that's the grinding angle done. Now with that, we want to sharpen it afterwards. The grinding angle is no use to us at the moment. We want to put a sharpening angle on that, and that is in the next video. When you're grinding, another aspect of the safety is to wear safety specs with this. You definitely want it on the dry one, but this is a whetstone, and these are safety specs. They're prescription glasses, but it's better to get in the habit of wearing glasses as you do this, and not just glasses but safety glasses. That's grinding. That's important for your theory in carpentry and joinery if you're studying this, and if you're not, at least now you're enlightened in the theory and the knowledge aspect of it. Grinding is super important. It's more cost effective to get someone else to do it. That grinding took me a good 20 minutes to do that, but I did take quite a bit off it. When you get near the end, it feels like a lot longer, but that's just because the stone is on more metal and it's just taking longer to get that last little bit off. If you're doing this and you're outsourcing it, remember that's an expense, and you can expense that. If you're doing it on your own time, that's an expense as well. You'd want to allow that expense in your whole business model. If you want to check out more about the business side of things, check out this channel, the BlueWood Office one, where I talk about the business side of things on being a tradesperson. So if that was helpful, let me know what you think. Put a note in the comments. I'll do my best to respond. No, I won't. I should say I will respond, don't I? So if that was helpful, I'd love to hear from you, and let me know in the comments. In the next video, we're going to actually sharpen this up, and we'll do that on the basic stones. So see you in the next one. GoPro, stop recording.